So, Darren, given that we have effectively signed up to a certain financial plan, isn't it only fair and just that we fulfil those commitments before pulling the plug on any kind of financial input into the EU?
Well, it all depends how that number has been arrived at. I think the British legal team has been doing a pretty good job in standing up for the British taxpayer and demolishing the EU's suggested process of calculating the bill. Because I think, like Ian's just said, we've got cash, property and other financial assets accounting for some 41 billion euros that the EU's proposed way of arriving at a figure doesn't take into account. But I think if we go back a step, it's not logical for the UK to separate the talks like the EU wants. It would be a waste of time for them to negotiate two things at once. It's in both sides' interests, actually, for them to start talking about trade now, and then the UK can play its financial card, because the EU is cash strapped and it's getting really worried about this, actually. So I think it would be nonsense for them to play this card now when actually it's one of the strongest in the UK's hand.
But I guess what they're saying is these things are not areas to be negotiated from. They are certain commitments that you've made. If you've said we're going to put money into the pot to pay for X, Y, Z, then it's simply fair to
well, I think
stay true to those commitments.
Yeah, absolutely. And the UK is a country which meets its financial obligations, and David Davis has made that clear that there could even be a moral duty to pay it. But like you've explained already, we currently pay £13 billion every single year. If there's a transitional period in which, that 13 billion is continuing, you can reach 60 billion in 5 years. We're paying an extraordinary amount of money already. I think we have to just be very careful and stand up for the British taxpayer here and make sure that what we're paying there's a legal basis behind it, because that money could be going instead on hospitals, on teachers, on the police force.